It's a week number 6. We're here. We made it 1/4 the way through. Yeah, 1/4, right? 6, 12, 18, 24. Yeah, 1/4 of the way through for this process of me getting ready for my first ever bodybuilding competition. Feeling good. Finally got rid of the sickness, or not sickness, but the sniffles I've been having. They finally been gone. Now it's time to actually go back to lifting as I did before. Even though I'm still in a caloric deficit, I do need to watch myself in terms of my technique and form. So today we're discussing about tracking your progress and making sure you have some type of visual and you have some type of data, whether it be using a scale, whether it be taking measurements, or using like clothing, but some type of measurement through recording something, visuals, numbers, something that you could keep track of and see your progression so far. Since it is the quarter mark, I posted a picture on my Instagram with weeks 6 and also week 1, just so you see the difference. I'm gonna be doing it every 6 weeks. You can see the visual difference from 6 weeks instead of seeing a visual difference from 1 week. Because if you take a look at my week 1 and week 2 photos, the visual difference is very, very minimal. But if you take a look from my week 1 to week 6 photos, you can see more drastic changes. Okay, so just keep that in mind whenever you're taking photos of yourself, right, or looking yourself in the mirror. We tend to see ourselves every single day, and we might not see any changes, right? Because once we see the image in ourselves every single day, we keep that image, and then the next day we don't see too much changes, and the next day we don't see too much changes. It's only when we actually start thinking back to the first day we actually started on this 24-week cut, or whatever it may be, 90-day challenge, that you think back and say like, hey, 30 days ago I was not looking like this, or 6 weeks ago I was not looking like this. So taking photos is gonna be a very, very important topic that we discussed today. With that being said, this week was well for me. Really have nothing to say about this week, so I'm gonna do my posing update, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. This is your disclaimer, by the way. Okay, here's the week 6 posing update. Normal routine, just going through my mandatories here. Body still looks pretty similar. I wouldn't say there's a drastic change compared to last couple weeks. Probably better than the first week, of course, if you just compare my week 1 video to this week's video. Getting a little more comfortable with these side poses, but still needs a little work. See, my hand positioning is off here, and my stomach is just out there. I gotta learn how to just pull that in a lot more. And it's just tough. Like I said last week, when you're breathing, you actually want to breathe into your chest instead of your stomach to keep that stomach nice and tight. But all these posing routines I'm doing is always first thing in the morning. No food in me. A lot of times people will pose. Of course, on show day, for those who don't know, you're posing with a pump, right? You're pumping your muscles up before you pose. Also, you're having some type of food before you to fill up the muscles before you pose, because you're gonna be really flat and you're not gonna have any glycogen in your muscle. So all the stuff I'm doing is first thing in the morning, just so you guys understand how someone looks, I guess, naturally, or like right when they wake up. Because a lot of people on Instagram, they tend to have filters, they tend to have good lighting, and they tend to have a good pump. Like right after they finish their workout, they'll do a posing routine, or after a full day of eating, they'll do the posing routine. And when you actually have all that stuff done already, you have all that lighting, the food, and the pump, you actually look so much more different. Like first thing in the morning is probably the most natural look, I guess, in terms of you just being yourself. And then once you get the pump and everything, that's when you get the full effect of creating that illusion, like I was talking about last week, for the judges, for the audience, for Instagram sometimes, to promote yourself. But yeah, first thing in the morning, no food in me. See, that stomach is still there. As you can see, I'm not pulling in all the way, and it's just tough. Something I'm working on constantly. Even in the morning, I'm trying to do like vacuums to work with that. All right, so that's week 6. Hope you guys enjoyed this update.
and let's talk about the topic.
Talking about tracking your progress. Now, there's a couple ways to track your progress. I think a lot of people tend to just use one way, and if they're losing fat or losing weight, they just say like, hey, I'm just gonna use the scale. The scale is the only means of me tracking my progress, and that's probably the worst thing you could do for yourself, especially for those people who are going through a body recomposition phase. So what that means is they're building muscle and losing fat at the same time. The scale might look exactly the same from day 1 to day 90. In 3 to 6 months, your weight may not have changed one bit. If anything, you might have even gained weight. You might have even jumped up 1 pound. And that's called body recomposition. And that's okay. So that's why don't just use the scale as your only means of tracking your progress. Okay, some other ways to track progress. We have so many ways. We have number 2. We can use photos, and that's probably the best way to track progress. Like a picture says 1,000 words, or a picture can tell a story, right? So take your photos. So for some of you, you might be nervous to take some of those photos because you feel like, I don't like the way I look. Like, I don't want to take this photo right now. I want to take the photos when I actually look like what I want to look at the end product. But trust me, take those photos now. Keep them for yourself. You don't have to share with anyone, but like, just take it for yourself. The look you gotta have on your face from day 1 to compared to day 90, or day 1 to 120, or day 1 to 365 after a single year, you're gonna see a drastic change. Use photos because it's gonna tell you things that the scale is not gonna tell you. And number 3, taking measurements. Like, taking measurements is probably, in terms of like numerical data, probably a lot better than using the scale. Take measurements the same time you take your photos. That's why I recommend you don't have to take them all the time. You don't have to take them week to week, because the changes, like I said, is not gonna happen from week to week. I recommend probably taking them every 4 to 6 weeks. Same thing with your photos. You could take them week to week with your photos, but every 4 to 6 weeks is what I recommend. 4th one, besides from the scale, photos, and measurements, is your clothing. Like, that's a big one, especially for myself. For those individuals, especially if you're trying to lose weight and you started yourself at a large, and then you actually have to start wearing mediums because the large looks like a dress on you, that's some amazing progress as well. And the last one, last but not least, people don't use it often, but people should, is how you freaking feel. If your mood is better, your sleep is better, if you feel like you have more energy, things in life is just easier after working out. Like, now that you're working out, don't feel as lethargic. When you go up a flight of stairs, you're not out of breath, or you're able to pick up 5 more extra grocery bags that you couldn't pick up before. You know, stuff like that, undervalued by a lot of people because they just want to look a certain type of way, right? It's like, oh, I just want to have muscles. Oh, I just want to be at this certain amount of weight. Like, I don't care about my strength, or I don't care about my. We get caught up on this notion that, you know, our life's meaning is just a number, especially when we step on a scale. So let's get rid of that. You know, still use it as a means of tracking progress, but don't let it take over and consume your life. It's just a number, right? You're the reason why, or society in itself is the reason why we tend to, you know, drive these theories that we need to be a certain type of weight for our body or for our height, and it's nonsense. It's nonsense. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section below. Thank you everyone again who's supporting me on this journey, and click subscribe if you haven't yet, because I got more videos coming for you. I still need to get that whiteboard, by the way. So, but other than that, thank you so much. I'll see you guys next week.